Aloha, friends and neighbors. Rollin Frost here, and I'm going to do some work for you. This is an ad out that I had in 1991 on Kauai. That's where I was living. After I had already been doing astrology professional work for 20 years in 1991. Honolulu, a lot of it. After Aniki, which happened just after this ad, I moved to the Big Island. And living in Kona, I'm doing another 20, I think. Sounds like a prison sentence, doesn't it? Doing astrology on the internet, too. It's not easy work. I started off real easy. The first, few years of TV shows were very easy. And then I got into more sophisticated predictions. So now I just kind of let it happen. So I'm probably looking at my last year of doing this on television. And for that purpose, I decided to lighten my load by doing Jupiter charts. More on that later. Rather than all this heavy-duty prediction, which is not easy. No. Jupiter charts are fun and they're easy for me to do, and that's what people really want. They want to know where things open up and where they get better and where they expand, and they don't need to worry about Saturn too much. We're going to talk about Saturn a lot, though, coming up. Here we go. Yep, this is program 1096. First couple of hundred per shows, I taught real basic astrology. And now up in shows 1,000. 1,000 weeks I've been doing this. Wow. I don't teach too much basic stuff. I just kind of let it happen. I figure you'll pick it up as we go along. So if it seems over technical to you, don't worry. Just go along. We're going to cover the first 10 days in December 2017. And they definitely have flavors. These time periods. One of them that happens is you're about to have a full moon. This full moon is at about 12 degrees of Gemini, which means it squares Neptune. And Neptune just slowed down and stopped at the end of November. So Neptune's very strong. Neptune has to do with liquids, water, flooding, chemicals, deception, thieveries. So you're going to be up to your necks in all kinds of Neptune stuff. I don't know how they could put more crazy ads about doctors and drugs and stuff. It just saturates television now. But you're probably going to get awful tired of it. So what do we got? We've got a full moon that covers the whole month of December, squaring Neptune. And we're going to have problems with liquids and flooding and rain and stuff like that for the next month, the month of December. Lots of water. Too much water in the wrong place. That's what December is all about. So there's some other significant flavors to this time period. One is we got Mercury stationing and going retrograde Saturday night at 9:35 p.m. Yeah, the coming Saturday for you, December 2nd. Mercury stops. And when Mercury stops, it stops right there. There we are, Mercury stopping at 29 Sag. And guess who's also there? Saturn at 29. So we got Mercury slowing down and stopping right on Saturn. This is very unusual. Now Saturn has a reputation, especially in the winter. He crystallizes things. These could be guys trying to make laws and crystallize and pour it into cement. Cement is crystallizing something. Ice, snow is crystallized water. So when Saturn's really hitting, everybody gets judgmental. A lot of stuff freezes. You're going to see. Now Mercury stopping on Saturn could stop the wind, and some places could get really cold. There's a story about Kepler, who was just an assistant to a famous astrologer. But he had to fill in once and write some of the almanac for the year. He noticed Saturn misbehaving. He said extra cold the last 2 weeks of May or April or something, and it's going to be very cold because Saturn blocked Mars' heat. Anyway, he wrote a friend, Kepler did, and said, I'm amazed, I made a good prediction. He said somebody came in from outdoors and blew their nose, and their nose fell off. Their nose had frozen right on their face. So Saturn can be pretty scary when he gets really cold. And so can the judge when the judge starts to pronounce things. And Saturn is going to speak out, because here's Mercury, the guy who takes the words from one god to the other, stopping on Saturn, saying, come on, give me some messages. Now, there's a lot of background to this, and whatever freezing or whatever Saturn or rules or scariness comes up around the first, second, third of December with Saturn there, it's going to get accented a whole bunch. A month of floods, December. Yeah, the accent comes up because there's a new moon at 26 Sag on December 18th. Halfway through December, we have a new moon at 26 Sag. Did he say 26 Sag? And there's Saturn at 28, and it's the retrograde. Yeah. So after Mercury stops on the Judge, we have a new moon on the Judge on Saturn, and we could have a renewed cold spell. This goes from December 18th right up to January 16th. I mean, this new moon is like a trigger for Saturn. Things are going to crystallize, cold ice, probably like we haven't seen it. It's the opposite, the climate change stuff, huh? Makes some places super cold, some super hot. Now, Saturn is famous, of course, for, just like Mercury, goes up, stops, takes a loop back, and goes off. The stopping points are important. And then it goes back and stops and goes up and finishes. So when I look back to see where Saturn was when it stopped, it wound up being April 6th, 2017. Saturn stopped at 27 Sag 48. So a lot of things that started there, if the judge said this or the laws or that, or you know, the downfall of politicians or CEOs or whatever, it's when this Saturn station at the same place in the sky at 28 degrees Sag. Now Mercury's going to speak out first few days in December about these matters. Maybe some stuff that started clear back here in April. And then we're going to have a new moon in the middle of December that's going to accent the heck out of this Saturn business. Kind of, maybe, hopefully, you know, it'll finish up all this stuff that Saturn's been cooking up since April 2017. But stopping in the middle of winter, having a Mercury retrograde and then a new moon, wow, it's going to be cold. There's going to be ice and snow. The ice starts after the new moon, December 18th. The water flooding starts on December 2nd and goes all through. So the first 2 weeks of December, it's water. And then after the middle of December, once that new moon clicks in, it's not water anymore, it's ice. Yeah. Okay. Weather predictions. Ben Franklin loved them. He did a lot of weather predictions in his almanac. And that was a big thing for all the astrologers. A lot of them made money with almanacs. Poor Richard was a copy of Poor Robin's, the most popular almanac in Europe. That's how Ben Franklin got so famous in Europe. It was his astrology and his almanac. Yep, he taught it for 20 years, kind of like I'm doing. My chart's very similar to Ben's, and it's very suspicious. Not just similar, almost identical. He's born on my birthday. You know, he has the moon in Virgo and Venus in Capricorn, and I won't bore you with it, but the spirit of Ben is always around me somehow. So, the weather. Ben said, now sometimes I'm off a little bit on the weather. He says, I don't try to just say it's cold in the north and warm in the south. I'm going to try to do it right where you are. He says, all I ask is that you give me a couple days this way, a couple days that way. A little sloppiness is necessary. And if we're further off than that, he said it's a technical error. It's the fault of the printer. He made a mistake somehow. Of course, the printer was Ben Franklin. Ha ha ha. Anyway, prediction of the weather was a big thing. That's what almanacs did. So if you said, oh, it's going to freezing stuff is going to happen here after the new moon, December 18th, right, 1st of January, ice that's really unusually bad. He would put that in an almanac and it'd be on everybody's shelf for years. So he was careful about what he said. So am I. It's not easy though. What do we got here? We got Mars creeping up here, opposing Uranus. Mars is heat. Uranus is wind. Uranus is electrical things, airplanes, trains, machinery that goes around, motors. Mars is heat. Mars is fighting. Mars is aggression. So Mars is stumbling in to take on Uranus. Not good. Not good at all. There's going to be some sudden road rage things over the stuff we share is our driving out on the road, huh? That's where the fire and the anger is going to be lots of times. So keep an eye on this. It's happening at 25 degrees. Libra Aries, and it'll hit Cancer Capricorn. Now, what else you got? Oh, Jupiter is here trining Neptune. We may finally get some truth about Neptune stuff. Some of the sneaky things that have been going on. The deception. You know, Hillary decepted the Democrats and ousted Bernie. And then the Russians helped Trump, decept Hillary and got the presidency. And the whole thing, the deception is so thick, wow, hard to breathe. I had to stop a whole bunch of people spraying Roundup and going in my house. And my voice is getting better and my lungs are getting better now. But it wasn't easy to stop the Neptune. Try and stop the oil industry from drilling up your world and burning more coal. This is Neptune stuff. Our nation is addicted to it. Like the crazy medical drug thing. Crazy oil chemical thing. Same thing, Neptune. Well, the sun is squaring Neptune the next few days. Just 2-3 days from where you are now. And there'll be some bad smells around. But Jupiter's trining it, and maybe some lawyers and professors will uncover the truth of the deceptions. Well, a lot of background there, huh? Let's get on with it. We want to find out what's happening day by day. We're going to run the moon around the edge of the planetary pattern. These planets are just the people in your life, Saturn's the judge, Jupiter's the lawyer, Mars is the athlete, Neptune, the priest, artist, doctor. So these guys, as the moon goes around the edge here, makes angles to them, and that generates the mood of the times. It's not your chart now. It's the generic chart. So, where are we here? If you're on a Thursday night show, the moon's in Taurus, early Taurus, and you're getting some faith back with Neptune. Friday morning is kind of dreamy. The moon sextiles Neptune, but it opposes Jupiter. What? Lawyers and professors? They want to take away the church's tax exemption? Horrors Friday. First comes the faith, then comes anger at Jupiter, lawyers and professors. All in Friday morning, served you up for breakfast, didn't they? In the middle of the day, the moon trines Pluto. There's good investigations. Yeah, Sherlock Holmes is out. See what comes up Friday afternoon. Saturday morning, the moon's still in Taurus. And here's the opposition to Venus. No, she got out of bed before She felt sexy. That's Venus. On this particular Saturday morning, there isn't a lot of rest or sugar here. I wouldn't even try. Middle of the day, Saturday, the moon shifts out of Taurus, goes into Gemini. Now you're in the full moon zone. The full moon is right here. Late Saturday, early Sunday morning, we have a full moon squaring Neptune. Sunday morning, it's going to be confusion. The music's too loud. There's water in the wrong places. Boy, are we in for it. Neptune has a lot to do with religion, art, music, liquids, booze, drugs, doctors. I call him doctor, priest, artist, musician for good reason. He's always very sparkly, he's like very glamorous. But he's going to have a tough time. Full moon squaring him. None of those Neptune things are going to go well for a while. So it really starts Saturday night. Watch out for your liquids and goes through Sunday. And by you go through Saturday and Sunday, you'll have a much better idea of how Neptune's treating you in your chart. How does 11 Pisces set up for you? There's 11 Gemini and 11 Sag. 11-degree full moon in mutable signs. Well, you're still feeling the confusion of it all the way through Sunday. Late Sunday, early Monday morning, here's a trine to Mars and a sextile to Uranus, and there's heroes out, first responders, independent, free-thinking citizens are kind of helping some of the flood victims out late Sunday night. Early Monday, the moon's still in Gemini at first, and oh my God, here's the opposition to Saturn. And rules and regulations are stopping this. They're killing more ravens under a bad law. And here's Mercury squawking. Kill those birds. Throw those old people out. Make laws. Restrict everybody. More lines, more signs, more stop signals on the road. Oh, when will we ever learn? That's the theme Monday morning, December 4th. In the afternoon, the moon shifts into Cancer. The vibes all change. It starts to mellow out. Tuesday morning, here's a trine to Neptune, and we could regain some faith. A trine to Jupiter. Oh, there's some truth out there. And then Tuesday afternoon, here's the opposition to Pluto. The detective said, you can't do that. The cops, the Sherlock Holmes, the guys with the guns are there. Pay attention. Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday night, here's the moon squaring Uranus and Mars. First responders are having a tough time. They're beating up on homeless people. A lot of rage, a lot of road rage out there. So it starts Tuesday afternoon when people say, don't tell me what to do. Moon opposing Pluto, and goes to the square to Uranus and Mars. Well, a lot of heat here, but it can't come out because the wind is there. Wednesday, moon's still in Cancer till you get to brunch before breakfast and lunch. It shifts into Leo. All the vibes change again. Leo is not too bad through Wednesday. Thursday morning, here's a square to Jupiter. We're overdoing it all. But Thursday afternoon, the moon goes by the north node, trines the sun. There's a lot of nurturing. Fathers are taking care of things. Everybody is being motherly. Thursday, in the middle of the day and the afternoon. Not too bad. Continues through Friday till the middle of the day. The moon shifts into Virgo. Once you're in Virgo, you're subject to that full moon square Neptune. Friday night, here's the moon squaring Venus. No pleasure, no sweets, no sex. I wouldn't play with it if I were you. This is 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning, Saturday morning. No peace. Saturday the 9th, the moon's still in Virgo, and it opposes Neptune here in the middle of the day, and it hits that full moon square. So there's flooding, more rain. It won't stop raining. The river's going the wrong way. The pipes burst. There's all this stuff going on over liquids. And it's all exaggerated problems. with chemicals and liquids and Neptune. Crazy. Neptune people believe in things like those. I don't believe in global warming. Believe? What happened to science, Uranus? You gotta believe what the preacher says, huh? Look out. You notice they're shooting up churches a lot. It's very interesting. In the Bible Belt. Well, the moon squares the sun. You won't get much done Saturday night. No. Can't fix things. Too much water. Sunday, still feel it. Finally gets difficult. Can't get around Sunday afternoon and evening. Restrictions on communication and transportation. Neptune giving us troubles and making a fuss. After, what's better, water or ice? Wait till that new moon on December 18th, then we'll have ice. Okay, I want to talk about Jupiter charts. Jupiter, the great benefic, huh? The crescent of fleshed people over the cross of matter. Now, what I've already done 2 of these charts, by the way, and they're much easier on me, and they're lots of fun. And so, kind of here's what I've learned. Well, you should learn some of this too. Jupiter goes all the way around in 12 years. Now, this is the diagram I send along when I do chart work. The houses of the horoscope, 12 of them. Your chart's built exactly the same way. Here's your body over here. Here's your partners over here. Here's your career on the top angle. Here's your home on the bottom angle. And each one of these pie-shaped boxes is an area of your life. Like here's your money, right here, the second. So what happens is that moving Jupiter, transiting Jupiter, which moves just like the other planets, it moves 3 steps forward, 1 step back, goes through one of these departments in your corporation, takes a year. And so it'll go for a year and go into your second house and move up and stop someplace and come back and make a loop and go out. The whole thing takes a year. These places here where it stops are really important. Other places where there might be full moons or new moons on Jupiter as it goes through here are important. Why? Because Jupiter is going to expand your money. Jupiter always shows you new ways to go. So if Jupiter goes through your second house of money for a year, you're going to come up with all kinds of new and different ideas, something to make money. Opportunities will present themselves. Yeah? And by the time you're done a year later, after this begins, you probably have some new income streams. Jupiter fixed up your money thing. After that, it's going to go through your third, which has to do with your neighborhood, your yard, your car, your business card, stuff like that, and sisters and brothers. And it'll take a year and go through there, and in the same way make a loop. And so you want to know where these are, these stopping points, because they'll make angles to your chart. And you want to know what angles Jupiter makes to the rest of your planetary bodies as it goes through this thing. So it goes all the way around in 12 years. What I find now, here's how it comes out when I programmed my computer. And this is my chart. Here's my Jupiter thing for like a year. So here's Jupiter. You see it's going through my 6th house. I'm learning about my health, unfortunately. At any rate, here's Jupiter. It goes through the 6th. Now right here, it goes into the 7th. And suddenly I'm interested in new partners. And expanding partnerships are what it's all about after this date, November 1st, 2018. So between here and here is 1 year. And Jupiter's going through the 6th house of health and work. I need more work. I need more health. Okay, so you got the idea. Now, if I do your Jupiter chart, going through a year's worth of stuff is probably going to take me about 10 minutes. Yeah. So I could do, so I'm trying to figure out what to charge people and how to tell you if you want to spend some money on a Jupiter chart. The easy way is just to decide what you want to spend and send me a check, and I'll do how many years your money takes. Okay? Like if you want to do 6 of these, and you don't need to go further than that. I want to do 6 years. Well, that's $60 roughly. Okay? You want to go do the whole thing? 12 years? Well, that's $120. And what you'll get is this, and then a DVD that explains each one of these things and what goody Jupiter is delivering to you. And then here's the date of the delivery. Pretty neat, huh? It's fun stuff. Really is fun. Lots of fun for me compared to trying to do something with Saturn. Ugh. Haha, my sponsor Ben Franklin would love it. I wish I had a corporate sponsor or a rich person, somebody who could give me a little develop. Ben asked once for his share of public encouragement, and then spend 3 cents and buy my almanac. It's a way of getting public encouragement. So that's kind of what I need too, is public encouragement for my work. Doing Jupiter charts requires an exact birth time from your birth certificate. You can order one simply. Just email me, rollinfrost@yahoo.com. Give me your birth data, send me a check. I'll send you the list and the DVD describing it. So you can pretty much set your own budget, and I'll just take the Jupiter thing as far as it will go on that budget. Yeah. Because some people don't want 12 years, even though I won't be doing this probably more than another year. I would go for 12 years, but that's a lot of information, huh? Could call me on the phone, 322-3584 in Kona.